Hello, misfits and nomads. Step into the spotlight, let your essence shimmer and your creativity glims. This podcast is a canvas for your brilliance, a stage for unique talent to dance and dazzle. Embrace the rhythm of your artistry, the melody of your voice, and the power of your story. As we dive into the depth of your passion, let the world feel the pulse of your creativity, the fire of your spirits, and the measure of your craft. This is your time to shine, your moment to inspire. So unleash your talent, showcase your gift, and let your light illuminate the way. Welcome to a podcast where dreams take flight, talent find their wings, and greatness know no bounds. Get ready to captivate, inspire, and leave a legacy that resonates through the ages. Go ahead, introduce yourself.
Hey guys, I'm JWADI. I'm in Santa Barbara, California. Hope y'all are having a good day today. What's happening?
Shout out to you. And how you mind telling us like your origin story? Like,
Yeah, sure. First
it all
off,
started with
I would like to say that intro that you just did, I feel like you deserve a standing ovation after saying that. That's really
it.
cool.
Much
Um,
love.
yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Yeah, once again, my name is JWADI. I'm based out of Santa Barbara, California. I was born in South Carolina. A backstory, it's a long one. I guess I had started with a band called The Movement. I was the co-founder and the former lead singer for that band for a while, around 2000, early 2000s to about 2012, and I left. And about 10 years 12 years later, I kind of just took a break from music, man. I actually just I took a break. It was a little too much for me. I ended up going to rehab. I'm coming up on almost, this is my be 3 years sober coming up in October. So I took some time off, and I decided I wanted to get back into the game a little bit and really give music kind of a shot. So I wrote a record while I was in rehab and put it out September of 2023 called All That Glitters. And ever since
Mm,
then, I've just been writing and doing my thing. And I've just put out another record a couple months ago, February, called The Year Subtraction. It's out now. And yeah, man, just trying to get my feet back in the water, trying to give this a real shot.
shout out to you. And congratulations being sober for 3 years.
No, I'm coming up on it. October will be 3 years.
Coming up.
So I'm what I don't know what I don't know. I kind of lose count of the days and the months, but yeah,
Mhm.
October 16th will be 3 years.
Well, congrats on being what's the word I'm looking for? Being consistent for 2 years.
Yeah, right on,
Shout out to
right
you.
on. Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
No problem. And what exactly inspired you to come back to music?
That's a strange question. I wasn't really sure. I was there. Life was a pretty it was just kind of aimlessly wandering and not a lot of direction at all. So when I was there, I just had a lot of time. You don't get a lot of there's no phones, and you're kind of disconnected from the outside world. And so you're kind of left with nothing but kind of really what's inside. And once all the junk and the crap and the whatever kind of starts to fizzle out, you're kind of left with who you really are. And a lot of that, I'm still to this day relearning and having to relearn how to do a lot of things. This podcast, for instance, I've done one or two of these, and it's like learning how to speak to people and tie your shoes and brush your teeth and walk and talk and function like a normal person. You have to relearn all
Mhm.
that stuff. It's not a joke. It's just a real deal. But one of the things that did stay once all the crap fizzled out, and one of the things that kind of was left within me that it was there as strong as ever was just my passion for melodies and writing. So I thought, why not? Luckily enough, I was able to have my laptop after I left rehab. I went to a halfway house for 8 months, and I was able to have my laptop and a guitar. So I just decided then I was just gonna just put something out, just clear, clean, and just see what happens. So I wrote the record in rehab, and I put it out, and it was just one of those things where, like I said, after everything kind of the smoke cleared and the dust settled, music was the thing, and songwriting mainly, just writing was and writing music was just something that I found that is just who I am. And now I had an opportunity then to sort of pursue it with a clear head and a new beginning and a blank canvas. So I made the decision and pulled that trigger, and now I'm able to do that. That's kind of my life now. So I've been very blessed to be able to even have had the chance to do that.
Shout out to you. And you've been active since you came out of rehab, correct?
I got out of
Making music.
rehab. I got out of yeah. I was making music in there actually. Oddly enough, they let me
Lockdown.
after rehab. Man, I went to a halfway house, like a sober living community, and uh, luckily they I had my laptop with me, and so I ended up buying a little MIDI keyboard. And then I had my laptop with me and my pair of headphones and my guitar, man. And I just started writing some stuff, and I had a lot of things that had happened over the course of that 10 years, and a lot of things to, I guess, get off my chest, I guess. And my way of doing that, my medium for that, or my form of media for that is writing. So I just started writing, and next thing I know, I had a good handful of songs, and uh I got a friend of mine who does all my mixing and mastering for me, and I saw what his schedule was, and as soon as I got out, I left immediately from there. From that was in South Carolina, in Greenwood, South Carolina. I left
Hmm.
immediately from there and packed everything that I owned, and packed it into a U-Haul truck and drove across the country to California to be with my girl. And then I put the record out like a month later. The record came out, and
Okay.
it's just been kind of day in day out trying to make it happen, give it a real shot.
Yeah, after listening to your music, I check out your YouTube and I was listening some to your live performance audio and
Yeah.
listening to your recent two projects, All the Glitter and Subtraction of what was Subtraction of
Th-
what?
it was the year of subtraction was the one I
Yeah.
just put out. That was February 27th, and
I
then
listened to both projects.
right on. And then the first album was September of 2023. So I did back in the day. I was touring a lot and doing a lot of shows, and that's all I lived on the road, traveling like that. So, but I don't remember any of that time really. There's pictures and
Mm-hmm.
things. There's pictures, but I don't remember it. So I really do feel like I'm completely starting over again. I mean, this is really from scratch. So and all the stuff's gotten a really good response, and I've been able to do it. I've done everything myself, so it's been overwhelming is like the understatement of the century, but it's also been really rewarding to be able to do this and be able to remember it, number one, but to be able to sort of give it a real shot and not have to succumb to like, not being able to do certain things or whatever, just because I was drunk or whatever. So now it's kind of a whole
Mm-hmm.
different whole different ball game now, and I'm just really excited and blessed and to be back and just to be able to do this, just to have the opportunity to do it. It's pretty awesome, man.
I agree, and shout out to you. And
Thank you,
I
man.
would
Thank you.
say congratulations on like not only coming back in the game, but to come out with two full albums. Um, you know, shout out to you. I would definitely say your creativity is going.
I hope so. Yeah, I sit on a bunch of them. I mean, I got the next record's already written, and then probably the next record after that's already written, but that could change. That could change really fast. But yeah, I'm constantly kind of be surprised when you're not clouded and you're not really jaded. What do you just it's definitely like a habit. You can't. It's like going to the gym, man. You
Hmm.
gotta you can be creative as you want to be or think you're as creative as you are, but unless you kind of practice that skill and hone the art of taking the time every day to work at it, things do come natural, but at the same time, that only lasts for so long before actual work and dedication and like discipline kind of has to play a part in that. Otherwise, you can't just rely on just the creative part alone. It takes some discipline to it.
Okay. And when it comes to discipline, how you discipline yourself as a musician?
Man, I tell you what, yeah, I'm in my studio now, and it's kind of a wreck because I'm getting ready to go on tour next month. I'm opening for a band, the Supervillains, and I'm doing an acoustic set. And anyway, the studio's a mess, but I mean, I live in here. I live. I mean, I live. I pretty much. I very easily, like with no exaggeration, I'm in here 12 hours a day plus. Um,
Mm.
it's just even if I'm just in here learning how to. I invested some, into. I got some nice stuff here. I don't know how to use it all, but I got it, and I'm learning how to do it. But I sort of put myself like voluntarily into this sort of boot camp of there's three things. There's like the mixing and the producing aspect of it.
Mm.
There's the actual performance and the playing, and then there's actually learning how to play. I'm a guitar player and a semi, but I'm not a guitar player. I'm a songwriter, so I'm not like a solo and shredding kind of guitar player. I'm a songwriter. I'm an arranger and a songwriter. So I'm not really. And I've been playing. I know I started playing guitar when I was in my 20s. Uh, so I was a late bloomer with all this. But as far as my discipline every day, I mean, probably 3 to 4 hours a day. I mean, this guitar doesn't ever. It stays like here with me. It's in front of me at all times. It never leaves. I walk around the house with it. And then if I'm not doing that, I'm working on one of the 47 trillion ideas I have for songs and arrangements that I have. And I just try to dedicate every day, dedicate time for me and my girl, and to have a personal life outside of this. But it's very lot of people that I've looked at through the years. In order to be really good at something, and if you really want to be, and you really enjoy it, and you really love it, you have to become obsessed with it. You have to be obsessed with it.
Mm.
There's no other way around it. You have to be obsessed with it at all costs, and there is a cost for it because it does. It can be pretty insane as far as if as far as just what get cuts out in order to do, in order to kind of reach the goals that you want to, you kind of have to cut some things out and sacrifice some things. So I made the decision that I wanted to do that, and my girl is the most supportive in the world, so she's all for it. And so like I said, I wake up in the morning, I got my couple of minutes where I go outside and put some sunshine on my face and sort of kind of take some deep breaths and dig my feet in the ground and just sort of kind of wake up a little bit, and then I immediately walk straight in here, turn everything on, and man, I'm in here till 3, 4 in the morning, every single day, and that's been going on for since the record got done, which was October 31st of last year. Since then, I decided to take the guitar up and learn it, like learn it, and to just
Mm.
dedicate everything I got to being in here. So it's a full time and then some job.
Shout out to you, and that's love, and that's what we like to showcase. Love and dedication when it comes to the
Yeah,
artist.
yeah.
Um, we don't see too many of platforms that would do that, showcase what it takes to be in y'all shoes. So that's what we love to do.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, for sure. It's awesome. It's very awesome.
so we always love to hear y'all experience and everything. Um, I was curious on two things when it comes to one your style or your sound. How would you describe it?
uh, I actually try to avoid at all costs trying to describe it. I think that
Mm.
I think that's such a like a random, I mean, not a random, it's such a normal question to be asked, and I think a lot of people. I don't know how this is gonna come off, but this is what it is. I think a lot of people always say, my stuff's different. It's different. It sounds,
Mm.
it's not like anything else. Everybody's, it's such a normal thing for people to say, but I think that I honestly can say that. I have no clue what it is, man. My influences are so vast, and they're so all over the place that I think naturally, just without even knowing it, if you or anyone for that matter who's in the realm of creating music or creating something, you could have, y- whether you realize it or not, the things that you were listening to when you were 6, 7, 8, when you were in middle school or high school, those things, the things that resonate with you, they don't leave. They just they may not be in the forefront, but they don't leave. And if you do music or create what it's, the things that influence you without even realizing it, they come out. And for me, that was such a vast majority of things that I think that, my music is all over the place. But I do know that when you hear it, it's my voice. And that's
Mm.
that, no matter what, I mean, and I'll stand by that, man. You know it's me when you hear it. You hear, it's a JWADI song. You just know it because the way that just because it, but as far as describing it goes, it ranges from, my biggest influences in the world are man, anything Motown because I grew up on Motown, and
Mm,
I also grew up on '90s hip hop, like Dots Effects and The Roots and Tribe. And I mean, I grew up on that. That's like where and then I'm a '90s kid, so the grunge thing was big. So you take all
mm,
that, and I like a lot of really old jazz. So you take, I don't, and then of course reggae was the main thing that I did for
mm,
a long time, and I don't need, nobody really around me was. My parents weren't super reggae heads. They had some Marley on vinyl, and we listened to it, but I didn't grow up with it. Uh, so how that came about was a little bit sort of just haphazard. That's what I did for 10 years with that first band. And they're still going today and they're doing well and it's awesome. But the reggae thing just happened to kind of be where I went. But now that I'm sort of a little bit older now and kind of finding my voice again, I could say that I really don't know. It's like an indie alternative reggae hip hop rock hybrid of some sort with a little bit of country in there sometimes because I got a little twang and a drawl because I'm from South Carolina.
mm,
So it's a little bit of everything, man. I kind of, it's hard. It's hard. I like you get that asking, what genre do you, if you're submitting songs to some place or you're trying to get your song somewhere and they ask you what the genre it is, I'm like, God, man, I don't know. There's not enough lines on this piece of paper for me to try to explain it to you,
mm.
you know?
Now that's understandable, but it definitely helps to give a glimpse into your world. I definitely felt at least listening to your recent two albums. I definitely felt that it was soulful. I definitely got the impression of that.
Yeah, I get that a lot from people that it is, and I think that's just for I'm a yeah, I mean I just like I don't know, it's like I really get into it. Like I'm so I
Mm,
don't I'm an introverted guy. Like I like being here, I like being kind of closed off, but when it's time to get in the booth or it's time to get up and sing, I find myself, it's another cliche thing that gets used a lot, but for me it's the truth, but I really do get lost in it. Especially
mm,
now, especially these days. Like it's one of those things to where when I don't do it all, like I don't sing often unless I'm recording. Uh I just don't, and
mm,
but when I do, get up there and it's time to go, it really is, man. It's like it's almost kind of like a switch, it's just time to when it's time to put it out, and I give it everything I got, and I'm still learning how to do it. Everything's still brand new, my man. It's
mm,
brand spanking new. Like whether I did it for 10 years before this, it was 12 years of me just being a drunk and not being involved and not really caring about anything. So this is all just absolutely brand new to me. So I'm still learning as I go. So a lot of these things I really don't know because these answers because I'm still learning.
mm. And when you took a break from music, how long was your break?
I left the band in 2012. I voluntarily left the band in 2012. Immediately following that, I thought it was a wise idea to put out like a little solo record and kind of go do my own thing, knowing kind of internally and deep down that that was the dumbest idea ever to try to do my own thing right after leaving. Leaving that had to be done. I mean, I had to do that.
Mm,
It was just time for me, whether I knew it or not, or how I went about it. It's a different story, but I knew that it was just time. It needed eventually. It was going to happen. But I tried to
mm,
do kind of my own thing immediately following that, which I don't even remember that, man. I don't remember doing that record. I don't remember. It was like a 5 song EP under my just Jordan Miller under my name, and it it was it was garbage, and then I mean it was just pure garbage, and then. It's still out there too. I'm thinking about redoing it actually because some of the songs on there
mm,
I really like, but but then and I would do a couple acoustic shows here and there. I throughout from 2012 to 2022, 21. I would do an acoustic show. I had some buddies that were touring and around the southeast, and I'd hop in the van with them, and I'd do like 30 minutes for I'd open up, and I'd get on stage and I'd spit a couple of verses or whatever. Um,
mm,
but I never did anything and then I put out a record with a group, not a group, it was my uh with an old friend of mine, put out a record called a Good Talk, and I had a song. I was going to do a record, and then I decided to, hey, do you want to just be a part of this? And so I got him to do some verses on it. But I never did anything with anything because number one, I was just too drunk to do anything. And I didn't, and all I really cared about was when the next drink was coming. So to me, in my head, on paper, it may look a little different, but in my head, it's been since 2012 until I got out in 2023. So 11 years where I did, and I was out for 11 years from really being in the game.
11 years.
11
And the
years, and that
comeback.
is it what?
No, no, go ahead. Finish that thought.
Oh no, that was it. Yeah, but 11 years, man. Now at 40, my birthday's next week. I'll be 44 years old. And for a 40, starting, I did that what at 42, 43. I was starting as a 43-year-old to decide he wants to get back in the music game, or not get back, just to get into the music game.
Mm,
That's not something most people do. They're not like, all right, I'm in my
mm,
40s. Let me try to get out there and make it in the music industry, which is like the most ego-driven world there is, and I'm so far from that. But
mm,
yeah, but I said screw it, man. I wanted to do it. I wanted to be able to do this and not have to do anything else because I really don't want to go get another job doing something else. I just not
mm.
because it's just not me. This is who I am.
No, shout out to you. And I find it important for, no matter what your age, I think every age is important for every age group to showcase, your talent, especially like within entertainment,
Yeah.
especially to inspire people in your age group. So especially, even for like, younger people, I think this is really good, to see older people just still be in their bags, to, care about their craft and, showcasing their art,
Yeah. I mean,
to
yeah.
show the younger ones to be like, hey, to still live your truth, like, to still, to pursue something that you love and enjoy. So I think that's really good on all sides, even for people around your age, that would see you and be in your bag and might inspire them. Like, hey, you know what? I might be in my 40s, but you know what? Seeing him loving of his game, showcasing his
Yeah.
passion,
Yeah,
that
man.
inspires me, to do something.
Yeah, for sure. And number one, I don't look like I'm 40, so I'll take that one.
Hmm.
And then and number two, man, it's like that whole thing about, like, at least when I was coming up. It's like, 30's the new 20, 30's, 40's the new 30. Da, 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 da. Nowadays,
Hmm.
it really is. I mean, it's like there's really no like, my girl just passed. My girl, man, she's not to put her on blast or anything, but I mean, man, she's in her 40s as well. She's my age. I mean, she just passed the bar last week.
Hmm.
She decided that later, she had been doing, kind of doing her thing and just kind of going through it, and she decided she wanted to go to law school and be a lawyer.
Oh,
So that Joker man went to law school, graduated, got out, did whatever the heck she had to do, and then boom, she just passed the bar last week. Now she's official,
congratulations.
and it's yeah, no doubt. And I'll make sure and let her know. And so that's a huge thing. Like on top of like me doing that and then her doing that. So if anybody is out there and you're like, oh man, I don't know if I could. Like it, man. If this is what you want to do, then absolutely nothing else matters. And the only thing that gets in the way or stops that is like your own self.
Hmm.
Unless you're like have a, I mean, there was some things in my life that affected me or kept me from doing to reaching maybe the potential, for lack of a better word, or expectations that you put on yourself due to like some kind of addiction or something, which it's a real thing. It happened. It is what it is. But it's really not too late if you find something that you love. I don't care if you're 6 or you're 60, man. If you want to do it, and you really want to put the time in, because it doesn't just happen. You can't just be like, oh, I'm going to be an astronaut, and then boom, you're an astronaut. You're an astronaut. It don't work that way. You got to actually put the time in. You got to sacrifice and dedicate and who said that thing? I was watching something the other day. I think it was Ice Cube. It was like, don't even plan on doing anything until you got at least 5 years of just nothing, making zero money, doing nothing but just crafting and honing your craft kind of thing. And hell, I'm only 18 months into it, man. And it's like but I'm not stopping. No matter how I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do this till the wheels fall off.
Shout out to you. Yeah. And I definitely agree on that statement. If you're willing to do it while you're broke and not making money from it, I think that is definitely a good start. Because if you're only in there for the game of making money, usually it doesn't really work out. Especially if you look at the mainstream where it's at right now,
Yeah.
it's not really working out.
Yeah, it's
So
not.
I definitely recommend for people to like follow your truth. What bring you joy, what makes you happy. You know, doing it like you
Yeah.
say day in and day out. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah, man. I
it
think a
should
lot of people.
it shouldn't be torture, that for sure.
No, 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 it should not. I don't think a lot of people wake up and like, when you're, I don't think when you're a kid or you're like growing up, and first of all, let me go on record saying I'm not knocking anybody's hustle. I know a lot of people out there, man, that just like that they grind every day, no matter what the job is. I mean, whether it being it doesn't matter, man, a landscaper to a financial consultant to somebody that works for insurance. It doesn't matter, man. There's a trillion jobs, things out there that people do and they're happy and they do it. But I don't think anybody, when they're 7 or 8 and the teacher asks the question, what do you want to be when you grow up? I don't think a lot of people say, I want to work at State Farm, or I want to go, but they don't. People do what they
Mhm.
have to do, in order to, life happens and things happen. And I respect that, the people that do that. I really do, man. It takes a lot to get up every day and to go and do that kind of thing. And I didn't know I mean, I just now figured out what I want to do when I grow up, like just now recently in my life, um but I think that it's a commendable thing, but if you find something and you really enjoy it and it's like what you want to do, I don't think that anybody, external environment included, or anyone included, should say that it's not, like the whole, like, oh, it's not realistic. Certain things aren't realistic. I'm not going to be a freaking cardiologist, man. I can't. I'm too old.
Mhm.
I can't be a Navy fighter pilot. Like I can't.
Mhm.
Um, but there's certain things that are just absolute that you can't do. Now, granted, it's some miracle or something, but for the most part, there are certain things that you cannot do. But if you're not doing something because you're worried about your age or what somebody's going to think or how you're going to look, and that's like causing you to rent space in your head and not do the things that you really, really enjoy, then man, that's a bummer, dude, because you shouldn't let that bother you at all. Because that's really, at the end of the day, man, those people don't pay your bills, number one, and you don't lay down next to them at night. And also, when you look in the mirror, you ain't seeing them.
Mhm.
So, like, they should not matter at all.
I agree. I agree. It just too bad, like the mainstream made it, all about their business.
Oh man, it is. I don't listen. I don't watch it, man. I have no idea. Like, I
Mhm.
for some, I'm
No,
not.
no, no. I agree with you.
Yeah, I'm not.
I
I'm
would
not
just say
into
like
it.
the way how mainstream, do their works. Like, before we really get to know the artist, we all automatically get to show their flaws or whatever. Or,
Yeah.
they all really gotta portray themselves to be somebody else.
Yep.
Um, so, I definitely agree with you on that. So that's why I really find it important to bring back like the underground or the independent scene. So, where talent can like flourish. Um, I think it should be a space to allow them and be much more welcoming for people to showcase their art. As long as there ain't no like harming anybody or whatever.
Yeah.
Uh, we should definitely have a space for that.
Yeah.
For
I
all age.
think, and I think that people who, I mean, I think there is. I mean, I think everything is cyclical. As far as I don't know a lot about the main, the industry now, the scene that I was in before, that reggae
Mhm.
scene. I don't really. It's not that I don't pay attention to it for any other reason. The fact that I just, number one, I don't have time. Like I don't watch TV anymore. I don't do like I don't do. I just,
Mhm.
only because I'm like like I said, I'm obsessed with this. Like I do not leave this room, whether for any other reason. I just don't. But things are cyclical, and it's like now, like every once in a while, I do. I every blue moon, well, not every blue moon. I do it kind of constantly, just like once a week or once every 2 weeks. I'll take
Mhm.
about 30 minutes of my day, and I would just put it on the top 40 just to see who's on it, what people are listening to. Just because it is, no matter how much you want to be, not people want to be different. They want to get, but you still have to keep up with the times a little bit, because
Are you?
that's your smart business, just knowing what's going on, what people, not so that it changes your style or anything, or you, but just to
Mhm.
know what's going on around you. There's absolutely zero things wrong with that. If not, it should be, you should do that, and you should
Mhm.
dedicate time, once every 2 weeks I sit down for 30 minutes and I just listen to it, just put it on the background, I don't,
Mm.
and that's just to see what's going on out there. And I mean, I'm not gonna lie, man. It's and I'm not. It's not that great. It's not that great at all. It's not that great. I mean, it's like the artist, it's not about the tunes anymore, man. It's about
Mm.
it's about being in the next Doritos commercial or whatever the hell it is, man. But it's not great. And there's so many talented people out there who are on the grind, who are just trying to like songwriters and musicians who are just trying to like do what they love to do. And in my head, like they just get so overlooked. Um,
Mm.
because they just I don't know that's just not where we're at. Everything now is got we're going back, we're getting back into the now we have been for a few years now, but from what I gather, we're going back to the 80s now. Everything's kind of getting with the
Mm.
sound, like the vibe of it is getting very 80s ish. And then the next one, and mark my words, this is going to happen. I'm saying it for now. After this, it's going to start getting into the more. We're going to go back to the hard rocky 70s stuff. So that's gonna be the next thing.
Are you
People
saying like are we gonna be like inspired to create some original, or are we gonna be like
No,
fighting?
I'm saying the way that I mean human beings by nature history itself is cyclical, but just the way
Mm.
the music industry is, I can see it, because it's very young, and there's really not much. I don't think, I mean, the music is not young by any means, but the actual aspect of being able to hear it, in 1910s and 1920s, you couldn't just, to have a radio was like to have a Maserati, like, it wasn't around like that. Um, and now, people like me, man, we're a dime a dozen, so to stand out or whatever, but but you can see it, you could hear it as it goes. I mean, music is similar to that in that it is cyclical. So like now I feel like, man, you listen to when I had it on the other day, whenever it was, I mean, it was just sounding like, I thought I was listening to like an 80s throwback channel because it sounded all just very 80s, very 80s-y, not like the 80s hairband rock stuff, but just kind of the 80s pop stuff.
Mm.
And I feel like it's, and and then, and because the younger cats who that's their market, that's their demographic, man. The demographic isn't for the money is in the kids that want to stream and go to the festivals and do that kind of stuff, and they don't know anything about, like, saw the other day some kid was walking down the sidewalk and he had a Nirvana shirt on. He was listening to the Nevermind album, and I was like,
Mm.
man, and that's their classic rock, you know? Like
Mm.
that's their to me what what I don't know what Hendrix was, or what what the old Beatles were. That was that was that's what that is to them. And it's crazy to think about that, but it's just all,
Mm.
it's all cyclical. And so I think it's going to go back now. We're going to get back into it's been so heavily poppy and synthesizer, like now I got a feeling it's going to start getting back into more of the just more of a hard rockier kind of thing. And why it
No,
always does it. It always gets sickler. It always comes back around.
no, I definitely agree with that answer. Um, and when it came to you listening to um, and by listening, are you tuning into like the radio station, or are you tuning into like a certain like music channel?
No, I put it on the iHeartRadio top 40.
Okay,
Yep. I
okay.
don't yeah, I don't, and oddly enough, I don't listen to a lot, like, uh I don't listen to a lot of music. Like I just don't,
Mm.
not for any other reason. I used to all the time, like constantly, but for like as a musician, it's kind of strange, right? I listen to, I just, I listen to a lot of like older stuff. I listen to,
Mm.
like some, like, Steely Dan is like huge. I've been on the Steely Dan kick. My girl got me on the Steely Dan kick, and like Toto, like these old bands. And then a lot of, Motown, of course. It's Motown stations just stay on all the time. I just grew up on that. My father was a Motown addict, so I listened to that all the time. But as far as new what's going on out there, I couldn't tell you names of anything or who sings what or who does what with anything. Even with the scene that I was in, that reggae scene, I guess, what do they call it now? Like California reggae scene, whatever.
Mm.
I can't tell who's who, what's what, man. And that's not. I mean, I'm not really saying that to be negative. It's just I can't really tell anymore who's who and who's doing what because it all kind of sounds the same.
Mm.
So I just kind of rather just focus on, kind of, if I find something I like, I listen to it. Otherwise, I'm not like on the hunt for stuff. You know, if it finds me, and it resonates, and I listen to it. But I'm not like always on the hunt for like new stuff and new music and things like that. I got enough. I got a big enough jukebox going on up here, my own stuff to worry about and listen to.
I respect that. And my last question before we hit the halfway mark.
Yep,
When was the last time you was impressed by, a new artist?
man. The last time I was impressed, I think Ali, man, that's such a hard. There's just so many names. So you name one, and I feel like I leave some out. Um, like impressed by an artist. I don't know what the girl's name is. I could try to find it. Some girl it was like on just popped up on like a feed, like the Instagram feed or something. She was playing guitar and
Mm,
she was playing some like soul stuff. Like she had some like an instrumental kind of going on. I forgot what her name was. There's a band out there now. My girl got me on this band. I said that I did a podcast last year with the Sugar Shack sessions. Shout out to them. And
okay.
I was asked the same question and I said this name. I said this band's name and I'll say this band's name again because I just like what they're doing. They're doing something different. They're called Bikini Trill. They're I like those guys. Um, yeah, and Trevor Hall. I like Trevor Hall. I got into him. He's a South Carolina cat too. I just kind of recently realized that. Oh yeah, so I got back into Trevor Hall, Steely Dan, a lot of that late '70s stuff.
Okay.
But nothing really new. Nothing really like just super new that I'm like. "Huh." And it's not because
Mm,
not because I don't like it. It's because I just haven't taken the time to like go out
mm.
there and explore and see what's out there.
No, that's understandable. Okay. No, shout out to them. Coming to the halfway mark. Um, I have some connections that you might find interesting to network with.
Okay.
Um, the first one I would like to shout out to One Nation. He created his own comic book slash manga. And he's also an artist as well. You did mention that he was interested in hip hop, such as like Tribe Called Quest, uh,
Yeah, yeah, that's how I
similar
started,
artists like
man.
that.
Yeah, I started
Uh,
as a rapper. Just kind of grew up on that stuff too.
this and he go by Get the Cuddle as his artist name. But
Okay,
his style of lyricism and his style of music kind of remind me of some like Andre 3000 type time.
That's
But
my idol.
you might find intriguing.
Okay,
But if you like to connect with him, I could definitely send you his
yeah,
socials after the
please
podcast.
do, man. That'd be awesome, man. Thank you.
No problem. The second person I would like to shout out to Jeremy. He's creating a series where artists get to perform at establishments such as like restaurants, etc. Um, Basically, people can put on a performance while people eating, etc. But he's creating a series called Tavern Live, and he would make a short music video out of your performance as well.
Okay, cool.
But if you right now, he's also located in North Carolina, but I know he's
Okay,
working on expanding beyond that. But if you're definitely interested or just like to know more, I would send you his work.
okay, right on. Very cool.
The third person I would like to shout out, he's also an artist as well. Go by Keysman Squash Disaster. He got his own podcast as well, where he's an artist that sit down with other fellow artists as well, and have a conversation about music, etc. But he's a folk artist. But if you interested to his podcast, which is shout out to Sound Sandwich Podcast, uh,
What's the name of the podcast called?
Sound Sandwich Podcast.
Okay,
Um, if you're interested to get to know him as an artist or his podcast, I can send you his links to the
okay,
podcast.
cool. Very cool.
And the last one that I got for you, we recently started our own music label where we created soundtracks inviting artists to be creative around themes and challenges. Shout out to For You and Life Records. Um, our first soundtrack is centered around horror and Valentine's, basically romance mixed with thriller.
Okay,
We allow artists to come together and be creative um, around the soundtrack. But if you're interested in that or just the producer behind that, you can see more information after the show.
okay, right on, man. Appreciate taking the time to do that.
No problem. And giving you the chance to, promote talents that you are specifically looking for. When it comes to talents, who are you looking to connect with or, expand upon?
Oh, I mean, there's, I'm always down yeah, I'm always down to collab with other artists if if it fits. I found that when I kind of got back into it, um, I was asked to do this or do that, or spit a verse on this or spit a verse on that, and nowadays I sort of kind of used to agree to kind of do anything back in the day, and even now, even still being hungry today, um, I'm kind of selective about it, I guess, because I don't know, I'm just kind of selective about it, I guess, because I guess there's a lot more riding on it in my head, but
Mm,
there's a few people out there that I've kind of tried to get the ball rolling a little bit, just I would love to do some collaboration stuff with, which may happen later this year. But we'll kind of see. Right now, it's been excuse me. Right now, it's been with the record just coming out uh, and getting ready to do this little tour coming up in June. Not a big one, just a little couple week tour in June. Um, that's kind of all I've been focused on right now. And then once I get back from that, it'll be so I'm going to try to put a little bit of time into kind of kind of reaching out and networking a little bit and trying to do some collab stuff, because there's a lot of artists out there that that are doing some really cool things that are that I feel like I like to work with.
shout out to them. Um, okay. So when it comes to talent, you're not specifically looking for any at the moment?
As far as talent to like do a collaboration like a song with.
Or well, various different talents. Like, are you looking for like people to do like cover arts or YouTube reactors? Who are you looking to
Oh
network with?
no, I'm actually, man. I've kind of dedicated myself to doing. This is me out here, man. I don't
Okay.
do like I got my agent, my booking agent, uh,
Okay.
that works at Empire Agency. And then I got a guy that is going to start repping me as far as my management goes. But as far as all of my cover, like my artwork and things like that, I'm dedicating some time throughout my day to get good at the camera. But
No.
all of my design work, though it's not great, it's still mine because I did it all. So right now, I like the idea of this whole grassroots thing and starting from scratch again, but doing it all on my own. So at this point, I'm kind of all set. I just need to, like, right now my the main focus is kind of getting my chops ready to get on stage, because all the getting everything ready and having the designs and the things are great, but when you get on the stage, that's when the buck stops. You know what I mean? That you got to be, because if it's not good up there, then there's no point to any of the rest of it. So as of this point right now, um, I mean, I'm okay. I'm kind of right where I want to be. I'm still new, so I'm right where I want to be, right where I need to be. And if anything does present itself and it seems like a good fit or a good thing, I'm always open to things. But as it stands right now, man, I got my plate pretty full, which I like. It keeps me busy and keeps me learning a lot and absorbing things. So I'm gonna kind of just roll with what I'm doing right now.
Okay. No, that's understandable. Okay. And coming to the second half, bringing this back to your music. Checking out your music, I did had a few songs that stand out to me, such as uh, what was it, Ground and Control
Ground
or
control.
Ground Control? Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
that was one of the songs that stand out to me. No One Around, Light Years Away,
yeah,
uh, All That Glitters,
yeah.
and The Other Side. Those are the songs that stand out to me being a first time listener.
Right on. Cool, man. Yeah. I like it's weird. Like, I think when you do records, you always have a couple that are your favorite, and then a couple that, man, I don't think I've ever, like, I don't say ever as of now. Like I said, I started in 2023. About 18 months
Mm.
into this, but of what I put out so far, there's nothing really that I don't hate anything. You reach a certain point where you can't just settle. But there are some ones that I do like better than others. And of the newest record, one of the ones that I thought was just kind of like not terrible at all. I didn't think it was bad. It just if I had, if I had one song and no one's around hanging over a cliff, what song would I drop first? I'd
Mm.
drop no one. I'd drop no one's around first. But apparently, a lot of people
No.
like that. A lot of people like that song. You know what I mean? So just you never know. Some things that it's such a subjective world. Um, like something that you write and like, yeah, man, I want to put this on the record. It's it's cool. It fits, it's good. And you don't really think anything of it. And then out of some of the newer stuff that you put out, that one's kind of getting some good traction, which is pretty cool. I like that. I mean, it just goes to show you that it's really, and that you do what you love, and then the rest, once you put it out there, it's not up to you anymore. You know. Kind of
Mm.
let the people decide. Put your heart into it and do what you love to do, and after that, man, it's kind of you've done your part. And if it sticks, it sticks. If it don't, keep throwing it. You know.
Shout out to you. And out of your last two albums, which of all the songs from those two albums you are mostly impressed? Uh,
My favorite songs from all the records I've done were "The Edge," which was a
yeah.
song on the All That Glitters. That's my first show back was I did the Sugar Shack sessions. If you ever had a chance to check what that is, you should really check it out. It's a thing. It's a good thing. There's guys down in Bonita Springs, Florida. Now they bring a bunch of artists. They've had a lot of artists in there. A lot of good
Mm.
artists in there, and they just kind of bring them in and basically it's just you play on their back porch. They've built this their house, and they built the back porch, and they do it, and they film it, and it's become a now I mean it's become a like it's a big thing. So luckily I got to do their the kind of 10-year reunion thing of them being around right when I got out of rehab in January. I went and I did the Sugar Shack sessions, which was a big deal for me. It was awesome. But I performed the song The Edge there, which is off my All That Glitters record. Um, and that even before that though, when I wrote that song, I don't know how I wrote it. I never have any ideas about like what I'm going to write songs about. They just come and I just put them down. But that song, and I always kind of know what they're about once they're out and I get a chance to listen to 'em. I don't listen to any of my stuff like when it gets, I've listened to this new record in its entirety, like less times than I have, digits on I maybe 3 or 4 times I've heard the record all the way through. I just don't listen to them. After the fact, I do. I can tell you what the songs are about and that kind of stuff. But The Edge is one of them. The Seamstress is one of them. From the new record, The Seamstress, The Edge. Um, what else? Closer is a good one off the new record. I like that one.
Mm.
Dance, the song Dance, I really like that just because I got to rap, which is fun. And it's a kind of a high energy kind of song. But I'm proud of all of them. I mean, they're all a representation of a kind of a new version of me, even though as I'm still learning and going through it. So like the next record's probably going to be 180 degrees from anything I'm kind of doing now. Still going to sound like me, but different. But it's always changing because I'm still learning. I'm still kind of trying to find that voice.
And what is your role being an independent artist? Like, I know you as a musician, I know you play some instrument as well. It seemed like you dabble into the production side.
I do all my stuff. Yeah, I do everything. I did everything. I do everything right here in my studio, and then I send it off to get it, and then I fly. I'm born in Columbia, South Carolina, so
Mm.
my good friend who is a superb, supreme mix engineer and mastering guy. So he's done both my records. So I do everything here, man. I do everything in house. I get everything tracked out, stemmed out, not stemmed out. I used to do all the multi tracks, and I get everything kind of ready for him, and I send him everything.
No.
Um, and then and then I'll fly out there for 2 or 3 probably like 2 sessions, like 2 week long sessions, and we'll lay vocals down and we'll tighten everything up, and then boom. So besides him doing that, um, I haven't done a lot of touring voluntarily. I haven't done a lot of touring yet because I was fresh out and I wanted to take my time on that. So this year I'm about to go back out again in June, and I'll probably start picking up the pace and start doing more touring a little more extensively over the next year or two, starting next month. But as far as like all the other stuff, but everything's kind of in house right here, man. Like all the design stuff or the merchandise, the social media stuff, all the things that require. I have a whole new respect for the other side of the music business because it's a lot, especially when you're doing it by yourself. It's overwhelming. But it's just me, man. It's just me out here trying to do the best I can, one day at a time.
Okay, shout out to you, one man army.
Yeah.
Um, and when it comes to what is the process and structure of like you working on an album? What does that look like?
Oh man, I don't know. I mean, I guess just every day. I mean, every day I'm in here, sort of just coming. I try every single day. I try to put something down, keep it or not keep it, but at least like 16 bars or 32 bars or like a hook or something. Um, and I used to write everything with like everything would be on the guitar first, and then I quit doing that for years. And I just, well, not for years, but I quit doing that for a while. And everything became just straight up with the piano and things. But for this one right now, I mean, since November, I'm sitting on about 40 songs right now that are fully arranged. And that's just from sitting down every day, and I'll just put something together. And out of those, about once every 2 or 3 weeks, I go through the 20 or whatever they are, and I'll pick the best three. And then I'll put those three in a folder, and I'll put the other 17 in another folder, and I'll put those on another hard drive just to come back to whenever. But I'll keep those three, and then I'll just work on those, throughout the course of, the next 2 weeks. And then within those 2 weeks too, I sit down at night. I usually work, I'm not kind of a night owl, so usually at night, and I'll just sit here and just start dabbling, and I'll try to just come up with something, and then I'll just leave it. And then at the end of that, week or two, I'll go back and listen to the whole list of things, and I'll pick two or three from that list. And after a month or two, I got, there'll be 6, 7, 8 songs in there. And I'll go back and re-listen to the other, 15, 20, 25, or 30 ideas really quickly. And anything, if I missed anything, but for the most part, I don't. And I take those and I just sort of put them in a folder. It's like, all right, let's start arranging them. And I just sit down and I just literally I'll spend the day just putting everything together. I don't quite mix it right then, or I don't really mix along the way. I kind of do a little bit of touching and I dabble into that a little bit, but not too. The idea is just for me as a songwriter, just getting the arrangements down and the stuff. I don't do lyrics. I mean, this last record, I wrote the lyrics while I was in the booth. I had no preconceived lyrics for anything. Couple of the songs I had like a couple lines, but for the most part, and I'm not used to doing that. I mean, I'm freestyling things like that. I do that. That's kind of my thing. Used to be at least, but as far as the writing and what the record's going to be about, what's going to be the theme, I have no idea, man. I kind of just let my brain do what it does, and I'll go back and ask questions later, and whatever comes out just kind of happens, and but that's pretty much the process. Like right now, I'm going through like we'll get off the phone and I'll cut everything on, and I started something last night, and I'll go through it and I'll just try to get it to as close as being a full arrangement as I can, and then I'll let it be. And then once I got about 14 or 15 of them, I'll put them all I'll put them on a little playlist, and I'll put them on the phone, and I just walk around, for the next week or two, just seeing if anything like lyrically pops in, and I just kind of go from there. I'm still learning the process of it, so I can't, it's really not. That's just I'm saying that to say that that's just kind of how I've been doing it lately. But I mean, the process of doing it's still brand new because I mean, I'm still learning that process. I mean, but I'm still learning how to cut half this stuff on, man. Like I got a bunch of stuff in here, and I'm trying to learn how to use it and do it because I want to do because this is what I want to do. And like I said, you want to do something well, and you got to become obsessed with it. But the process right now is pretty much that. Every single day, try to put something down that even if it's like even if I hate it, it's time consuming just for the practice, just to get in the habit and the discipline of doing it every day.
Shout out to you. And I'm curious, do you do any behind the scenes to showcase, like what it takes for you to be in your shoe as an artist?
Say the last part again. I'm sorry.
Do you showcase any behind the scenes,
No,
what it takes to, to be an artist? Well,
n
be in your shoes as the artist.
yeah. So that's another thing that it's taken me. I've had to sort of prepare myself for the. I'm an introverted guy, man. I don't like cameras and social media and that stuff. But I love like creating and film, and I love that. So, how to incorporate how to incorporate and this is I just bought some lenses and a camera and tripods and lights and the whole nine, man. I bought it all because I want to start getting into, and not just for content on Instagram. Like, yes, that's a thing. That's part of the game, man. You got to do it, and I get it, and I do
Mm,
it. I do it probably, and it's terrible, and I don't like the way any of it looks and all that kind of stuff. But I want to get good at it. And I'd like to, like, this tour that I'm doing. I'm gonna try to document. My girl and I drive. We were gonna fly out and do the whole thing, but we were like, screw it. We're gonna drive across country, and I'm gonna document the entire show, the entire 3 weeks.
mm,
I'm gonna film it, and I'm also gonna record every one of my live performances and try to put it all together. And then when I get back, I'm gonna start trying to do some things where it's like getting into the process of, I don't know, just kind of like either whether it be on YouTube or something like that, but just getting like the process, what it is to be a musician, or to try to get back and make it in the music industry in your mid 40s. I think there's a story in there, especially for a recovering alcoholic. I think there's a story in there somewhere, and I'd like to document it because I think it's a hope. It's a good story, and I think that there's some takeaways from it that people could take away. And it's absolutely not about ego or anything like that. It's just about wanting to just kind of share your story, and just to show that it's possible to do this. So the behind the scenes part of it, that's definitely something that is it's on the back burner, and it's slowly moving
mm.
towards the front of the front burner, to start kind of documenting that, and showing some behind the scenes stuff.
No, I agree. Especially just hear a bit of your passion for it. I think it would definitely be intriguing, and especially um, you don't know who you inspire with that. So, whoever watched that might be inspired to chase their dreams too.
Yeah,
So,
for sure, for sure. It's
and
very
I think it'd
cool.
be a healthy way, to showcase you know, being in love with your craft and being
Yeah,
dedicated.
yeah. I think there's a way to. I think that the theme, thematically speaking, I think it's just a positive thing. Me personally, my sort of hiccup is always how to present it, and how to do it right, and how to do it in a way that's unique, and that's also real, and just how to do it properly. And not only that, but do it yourself.
Mm,
So that's definitely, like, as soon as we get back from off tour, I'm gonna just kind of start putting some things together, and ways to start putting this story. Now that there'll be, about 2 years, almost 2 years since I've been out,
mm,
um to be, I have enough stuff to, like, start being able to put together some things, and just try to start making it I don't know, just start being able to share my story, kind of this whole process, and just kind of being
mm.
able to just kind of put it out as I'm going along as an artist, also documenting everything, and sharing it. And if people want to, have take something from it, that's great. I love getting, like, I really do. It's such a it's a deep thing for me, because I take my recovery very seriously. But it's a really awesome thing when you can get it, when you randomly get, and this happens often. I get messages from people that are just, how they were having a bad time, or they were having a rough go at it, and listening and seeing the story that I'm trying to sort of relay, or my experience in life, and how that sort of kind of helped them a little bit. um I think that's incredible. I think that's such a great thing. just for the just it's just a great thing. It's hard to explain, but for me, it's such a just it's a rewarding thing. Like I take that over money any day of the week, or I take that over
Mhm.
anything any day of the week, just to be able to have an impact on somebody who's really, really struggling with something. Because I know that feeling, man. I've been there, you know, and I still every day, man. I it's a struggle. Every day is a struggle to stay on to keep my side of the street clean every single day. So to be able to have any impact at all and show people that I'm struggling right there with you, man. You know, we'll get through it together. We'll do the best we, whatever.
Mhm.
It's such a wonderful thing. It's such a powerful thing, man. It's just a hugely powerful thing. I'm grateful for it.
No, I agree. My 2 cents, I would the first thing I would say when it comes to behind the scenes, you just got to do the recording part. So that's the starting process right there, recording,
Oh yeah.
wherever, yeah, wherever you want to
I
capture.
got terabytes
Yeah.
worth of footage sitting on these
Mm-hmm.
hard drives. I got hard drives for days back here, man. I do nothing but when I come in here, I got a tripod here, I got things here, I got stuff. I hit play, record it. I don't do nothing with it.
Mm-hmm.
But I got terabytes full of stuff for over the past 6 months of just me being in here. It's everything from one camera be time lapse and something, the other one's off in the corner, and I just hit play, and then by the time I forget about it, and I haven't even gone back and looked at it, but I got hours and
Mm-hmm.
hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of footage. Being able to
That's
use that, put it all together is a whole other story. But I got the footage,
yeah, yeah. So that's
you
good
know.
to hear. The
Yeah,
second
yeah,
thing, uh, the second thing I would recommend. What was the second thing that I was gonna recommend? Oh, when it comes to like you be on your traveling, your trips and stuff, like even like the small stuff to get to see, like, oh, like where you eat when you traveling on the road. Oh, you
yeah,
stop at Shake Shacks or whatever. Like, oh, like, yeah, like, like the small things like that.
yep,
People relate to that. Um, showcasing, like when you was talking about you working on your music, even though you didn't release uh the music on your official album. I think it's also a good opportunity behind your scenes to showcase, even your unreleased music, what didn't make it on the album. And then
yeah.
even in that way, you can inspire, or you might, have people that's inspired, like, hey, I really like that song, even though you didn't decide to release it. Is any chance that we get to hear it eventually? Or you might spark conversations. But anyway, the
Yeah,
whole point is like to
great
give it an
idea.
opportunity.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a great idea.
Um,
Great idea.
and the last thing I would recommend, look up some behind the scenes of like fellow artists or whoever, and then wherever hit your standards to be like, all right, I like these like behind the scenes. At least you can have your standards where you can look at like what you would like your behind the scenes to be like.
Yeah, that's kind of the only reason why I am on social media is besides like, having to use those platforms to promote yourself, which I is really it's still to this day like oh, but I enjoy, but since I do enjoy like the art of like filming and like being creative, like this whole thing. This is nothing more. It's like we're not reinventing the wheel with all this stuff. This is just like being creative. Like we just get to be
Mhm.
creative, and I love that. Like I love that I get to do that. That's my day. But the other reason why I look on social media is because there are a couple cats that I follow and that I watch just because I dig what they're doing. They kind of, it's not, I'm not saying that I want to be like that or they're like what I'm trying to
Mhm.
do. Or it's not even about that. It's about, I appreciate the art first and
Mhm.
foremost. I appreciate the creativity, and it's just something that I'm like, hey, I like that. And you could always, and you could always take things from people and like get your, not like take them, but you could always, pick up things here and there from people. And everybody does. It's the whole. I mean, no, there's nothing on as of right now as it stands now. Nothing that's out right now was ever just came out, and that's oh yeah, it's the first time it's happened. Everything's already been
Mhm.
done, and no matter how good it is or how popular it is, it's been done before. It has been, and there's nothing wrong with that. Well, you can take a little chunk of something that you like and make it your own. Well, everybody's influenced by everything, It's just it's how it's impossible not to be unless you if you got some sort of secret formula that nobody knows about in the whole universe. But everything's everything spawned from something. Everything spawned from something else. It's just a matter of what you do with that and how you make it your own is kind of what can separate you. And so I that's why I do follow a couple people just to kind of see what their what their behind the scenes stuff looks like and how they're going about presenting their art and their content and things like that. And it's helpful. And it's also a healthy habit to get into, which is why I listen to that top 40 stuff just to see what's out there, you know? Because the whole world, man, and also unfortunately, doing what you love is great, but I mean, at some point you got to keep food in the refrigerator. The lights got to stay on. Somebody's got. I mean, you know what I mean? Like that. Somebody my phone bill's got to get paid somehow. You know what I'm saying? So you got to work. So you got to think about that kind of stuff. Um. So and in regard to that, like what's popular? What are people listening to? What do they want to hear? That doesn't mean you have to go out and write something like it, but you could at least sort of know what's going on out there. And it give just to have wherewithal is very important. Being mindful of the surroundings. If you're trying to get into a music industry, then you probably about to be. It might not be the worst idea to learn what the music industry is. You know, and that's an important thing. But like it or not, it's just that's the game. So,
I,
uh, yeah.
I agree. It's almost like being a soldier. You got to know the terrain you in.
You have to. I mean, you can't. I mean, you can go. I mean, it's like I can have a really good idea for a song, and it's just who knows what it is, man. It could be anything, and
Hmm.
you get out there all of a sudden, you're like, I mean, this is a very broad example, but in a hypothetical, that would never, it's like going. I make an acoustic record, and all of a sudden, you put it out in the world, and you've been so reclusive, you don't know what's going on. But they do. Nobody's played an acoustic guitar in 10 years, and you're like, what? And like you didn't know. You had no
Hmm.
idea. You had no idea because you were stuck in your own little world. So it's great to be in your own world. It's great to be creative. It's great to close yourself off so that you don't hear anything else, and you actually get to listen to what goes on in here and kind of let it out. But it's also really beneficial, and I think it behooves a lot of people to, as artists, to just to know that know what's going on out there, know what's popping off, know what's not popping off, things like that. I think that's just smart business practice. Just from a business standpoint,
Hmm.
on top of from the creative aspect. But I mean, if you want to get into the music industry, it's not. I mean, it is an industry, but an industry is just that. It's a business, man. And there are certain things that you should know and you should be familiar with. And I don't know half of it, but I'm trying to learn it.
Hmm. And here's a fun question. I know earlier you said you didn't really have the words to describe your music, but I am curious, do you have a color to describe your music?
A color to describe it?
Yeah.
I don't know
Hmm.
whatever the color is, but it's dark.
It's dark.
I'm a melancholy dude, man. I write. I mean,
Hmm.
one of the songs that I did that I wrote a couple of them when I wrote half of them, more than half. For that first band that I was in, I mean that song is called "Set Sail." I mean, it's got this is between a couple of the songs I did that I wrote. And it's got it's accumulated about 100 million streams on Spotify, and they're happy songs, But for the most part,
Hmm.
I mean, I'm happy. Like I'm genuinely a happy human being. I'm happy. I'm living my best life I have wonderful people around me. It's amazing, but I still write melancholy stuff just because I don't know why. I always have and I always will. It's still
Hmm.
so if I had to describe it as a color, it would be probably a very I don't know, a very sort of rich, deep purple
Deep purple.
mixed with a couple dashes of nice baby blue.
Okay.
Yeah,
Interesting.
that would be that if I had to choose, that would be it.
Okay.
That would be it. Nobody's ever
Respectable
asked me
answer.
that, so I had to think about that one for a minute. That's a good question.
Respectable answer. Yeah, I'm
Mm.
definitely curious what color would you pick or what you would connect to when it comes to your music.
Yeah, it's definitely the whole bright sunshiny thing. Like I live, deep down, I'm a very, I love everything. Everything's groovy, man, that kind of thing. And I am that way. I am.
Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, like what I listen to and what resonates with me the most are more of the minor sounding, musically speaking, like the minor sounding stuff. Um, that as opposed to as opposed to the happy kind of things. Mine's more of a, uh, like I said, more of a, I wouldn't say gloomy, but it's more of the melancholy. Um, it's got a like it's got an overtone of just kind of melancholy. I could be rapping about rainbows and unicorns and sunshine and all that kind of stuff, and it's still going to sound a little bit sort of dramatic and a little bit of melancholy because I've just always been like that.
Okay. And my last question, um, when it comes to the audience, how could they, tune in and support you? What is the best way to do that?
Oh, the best way to do well, I mean, right now, I'm not doing really any touring at all. I consciously didn't want to do that. After getting out of rehab, I needed some time to acclimate back into society a little bit. So, but now it's I'm kicking off the tour next with the Supervillains. We're starting in where we start. Starting in Charleston, South Carolina, go all the way up to New Hampshire and back down. Doing like 12 dates with them. But as far as the just sort of being in contact and things like that. My social stuff, you can go to JWADIofficial.com is the website. I just put some new merch and I designed some new merchandise to put up there that I'm trying to sell, to help support the me on the tour. Um, and besides going to the normal stuff, the Instagrams, everything's at JWADI underscore official. You can find everything. JWADIofficial.com is the website. And then, of course, on the street, the records are everywhere on every streaming platform there is. They're there, so you can check them out. Go check out the Edge on YouTube, the Sugar Shack Sessions version of the Edge. Um, I'm trying to get that Joker to 1 million streams before the end of the year, and as my first show back after 10 plus years, that song's getting close. We're at about 700,000, I think. I'm trying to push it by the end of the year.
Congratulations.
Try to get it to 1 million. It's such a weird goal to have, but I don't know. For some reason, I want to see that 1M on next to the
No,
view
no, shout
on a YouTube thing. That'd be kind of cool to see that.
no, shout out to him. The fact that you was able to, even get 700,000 people to tune into your song, especially as an independent artist. That's impressive.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, man. I try to. It never eludes me or escapes me of just big like the fact that people actually take every one of my tagline of everything, and this will never go away, is I always put, as always, thanks for listening. And I don't say that like haphazardly. Like every time I say it, I mean it. Like, thank you very much for listening, because I really appreciate it, because it means the world that you took the time to just listen to the music, to listen to the art. And that means the world, and like it or not, even if you don't like us, but thanks for taking the time to listen. I appreciate it. That kind of
Hmm.
thing.
Well deserved. Like I said, I see a lot of potential in your music, so I'm definitely like to see you staying your creative bag and working on new music. I'm definitely looking
Yeah,
forward to your next project.
right on, man. I appreciate that, and I appreciate you taking the time to do this, man. I really do. This is very cool of you.
No problem. I appreciate you giving our platform a chance as well.
Yeah, man.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely, absolutely, man. I'll make sure and shout it out for sure.
Thank you. And before
Yeah.
you go, shout out your platform. Shout out anybody that you want to put on. And then I know you drop Edge, but if you want to drop another song for the
Yeah,
audience
so
to tune
just yeah, man. If you want to just check out the year subtraction on, I mean, I'd say go to Spotify and just look up Jwadi, and the year subtraction is the latest record, and just kind of give it a spin, man. It's kind of one of those things where, in my head, it's one of those one. It's something you could, if you want to get into it, you can. But if you want to just put it on and quietly ignore it, you can do that too. It's one of those kind of records. I think I'm really proud of it. Like I said, I wrote, I wrote it and did it all by myself. My buddy sort of mixed it and polished it, and sort of put the finishing touches on it, and a very crucial part of it. But I wrote all the songs were written by me, and I'm very proud of that record. And it marked a really good time. And I'm really proud of it. So go give the Year Subtraction a listen. Pay to Play is a good song. Go check out Pay to Play. and go check out the song Dance. Go put that on.
Shout out,
Go put that on and go get weird with it.
shout out to you. And you shout out your socials as well.
Yeah, so you can so my Instagram, so everything, all the social stuff, whether it be TikTok or Twitter or Instagram or anything, is just JWADI official, JWADI underscore official. My the website where you can find I'm gonna be actually today. Uh, I'll have all of the tour dates up. The merchandise is up there. I just got, you probably can't see it behind me, but in the back here, I just got both records. I got them put on. They're way back there in the back, but I just got vinyl made for both records. Where you can, if you anybody interested in picking up Jwadi Year Subtraction or All That Glitters on vinyl, you can go to the website and the links to all that are there. But it's www.jwadiofficial.com. And then everything else, as far as the socials go, is just Jwadi underscore official at Jwadi official. You check, and I'm all over the place.
And shout out to you. Much love.
Thank you, man.
Um,
Appreciate it.
like I, like I said, I'm definitely looking forward to your success.